What's good, family? It's your boy Just Blaze, host of the best NBA pod in the game, Above the Rim. Keep it locked each week and join myself and a special guest as we tackle the latest rumblings in the league. If it's happening in the NBA, you know I got you covered. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
Look at it. Kareem Akbar. That's right, the educated brother from the bank. He's the real head of the CMB, the brains behind the whole thing. I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I got a list of proof. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim.
Family, welcome to another edition of Above the Rim, the latest edition of Above the Rim, episode 106, brought to you, as always, by your honorable host, Justin, a.k.a. Just Blaze. And as always, family, let me get all the pleasantries out the way. You can listen to the best NBA podcast in the game. You already know anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether that be on iTunes, whether that be on Stitcher, whether that be on Google, whether that be on Spotify. Catch the YouTube page as well, lineups.com. You already know where to find it. It's the best NBA pod in the game. And to get in contact with your boy, you can always hit me up. Follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513. That's JUSBLAZE_513. On IG, it's JustBlaze513. On Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Make sure you go follow. Make sure you go like that page as well. Email the show as well. Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Call up to talk about it line as well. You already know. Talk about it. Leave your boy a voicemail, 908-718-1592. Leave all that hate mail, all that good stuff. You know I'm always ready to hear. The family's always ready to hear it. So let your boy know, man. As you can probably tell, no special guest this week. I just needed to get a few things off my chest real quick, man. We calling this episode Free Me, okay?
Boy, if you don't get...
Free me right now. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about this episode, and we're going to get into it soon enough. But before we get there, get to some quick announcements, some new announcements from coming through for Above the Rim. Appreciate all my family for listening each and every week. All my family that's been rocking with me for the past couple of years. I bang with you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. So much respect, man. So some quick announcements also. The Fantasy League. So I've been talking to a few of the fellas, a few of my homies, and they've been saying that I should start a Fantasy League. Shout out to Remo, Mellow Reem, who has a new alias coming soon. But shout out to Mellow Reem. So he made up a good idea. He was thinking that I should do an Above the Rim Fantasy League, and I was like, that was a great idea. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm going to be starting that up for the upcoming season. I just want to put it out there. I'll be creating a Above the Rim Fantasy League, most likely on Yahoo, maybe ESPN, probably Yahoo. So there's going to be limited spots available, of course. I haven't decided exactly how many people I'm going to have in there yet. That's still in the works, which I'm going to do probably this week. There's going to be some real shit. Only knowledgeable cats allowed. Knowledgeable cats allowed. I repeat, knowledgeable cats allowed. Supreme shit talking. So if you're sensitive, this ain't the league for you. I'll tell you that right now. Bragging rights and all. I'm probably going to make a little money pot or something like that. Probably a little entry fee. Probably something light. Nothing crazy. So if you're interested in joining the Above the Rim Fantasy League, hit my cell. If you got that, hit my DM either on IG or on Twitter. And let me know if you want in, man. I'm going to put that on Twitter and put that on IG as well. So don't get sensitive if you're not chosen for the selected group of people in the Fantasy League, because I know it's going to be first comes, first serve. So just let me know, family. And I'm definitely going to be putting that out there as well. So start thinking about that as well. I appreciate y'all. So let's get right into it, man. Real quick. I don't know if any of you guys caught the WNBA Finals this weekend. I actually checked it out. It was on Sunday. It was the who was playing? The Washington Mystics and the Connecticut Sun were playing this weekend, and I watched a good portion of that game on Sunday, and it was pretty solid. You gotta. First of all, listen here. fellas, I know there's a lot of fellas that listen to the show. Some ladies, of course, I know that listen to the show as well. You got to show some love, man. Support the WNBA. Support it. If you're a fan of hoops, and you should be a fan of hoops if you listen to the show. If you're a fan of basketball, there shouldn't be any gender discrimination or anything like that. You got to support no matter what. So I know how some people feel about watching women's basketball, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. That's ridiculous. You should always support any type of hoops organization, any AAU team, all of that, little league team. Fellas, get out there, go coach the young fellas, show them the fundamentals of this league, fundamentals of this game. And support is free. You know how I always say, stop being a hater. Support is free. So go out there and support the ladies. Watch the WNBA finals. And it was a solid game one. The Washington Mystics, they took game one of the finals. They look like the juggernaut of the series thus far. And let's see if they can take this home. It'll be interesting to watch. So I'll be watching I believe it's a 5-game series. So that's the first to 3 win. So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting to watch the rest of this WNBA finals too, because you got to show them some love. It's a good thing they got going there. Let's get down to business. Media Day. Media Day, Media Day, Media Day. The happiest time of the year. The honeymoon period of the year. Everyone's excited. Everyone's a little hyped. People's NBA players start taking pictures in their New Jersey. Some of them meet their teammates for the first time. Some of them meet the media for the first time in their respective cities for their new teams. And it's always a solid period. You know what I'm saying? This Media Day is the time where we hear a lot of dudes get a lot of stuff off their chests. Usually it's their first interview for the summer if they've been out and hiding, if they haven't been in the public, anything like that. They haven't really been in the presence of the media throughout the summer. So Media Day is usually where they get a lot of their rocks off. They get a lot of things off of their chests, a lot of things they've been holding in all summer because, let's be real, we know what NBA players, they read Twitter. They comment on Twitter under their burner accounts and things of that nature. They definitely read the articles about them. They definitely read the comments about them. So they're well aware of their surroundings, of what the narrative is around their name, around their brand, around the people around them. So they definitely hold their comments in and hold their thoughts in for the most part throughout the summer until Media Day hits. Till Media Day. And I gotta say, there was a lot of interesting tidbits from Media Day. I'm recording this here on Monday, so I haven't gotten through each one of the teams, their Media Day sessions, but I got through a few of them, especially the ones that happened on Friday, the ones that happened on Saturday and Sunday, and it was quite a few of them that happened today on Monday. So I'm gonna start on one of them that's near and dear to my heart. I know the streets has been asking me. They said I've been in hiding when it comes to these certain issues. And we know what we're talking about. The name of this episode. Free my man. Free me. Free CP3.
Talk about it!
This right here, man. It hurt my heart. I'm not even gonna lie. It hit me in the heart because I can't stand to see my man in the Oklahoma City Thunder jersey. It's killing me right now. I can't even lie. If I came on this mic and I lied to y'all, I wouldn't be me if I came on this mic and lied to y'all. So I gotta tell y'all the truth. This shit hurts me, man. I can't see my man in the Oklahoma City jersey. I hate that he's not on the Rockets right now. It's hurting me that he's not on a contender right now. But it is temporary. It's very temporary. I'm upset about a lot of things. I'm upset that he's not in Miami, at least for the most. First of all, I'm upset that he's in Houston. I'm upset that he got traded. It was a deep shock to me. I didn't talk too much about it because I tried to keep my my thoughts internal. Speak to the people that's close to me because I was tight, man. I can't even lie, man. Everybody knows I'm a big CP3 fan. I couldn't believe they traded my man. I couldn't believe it, man. It was a very good first year. It was a solid second year. We just ran into a juggernaut. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't close the deal. They didn't handle their business both years. Well, the first year, of course, is because of injury. The second year, this last year, they didn't handle their business. And I was very upset about this. So it still stings me to this day because that happened around my birthday time too. So which is pretty crazy as well. So that shit hurt, man. They should have won that damn series, but they didn't. And now, fast forward to now, CP3 is traded. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is now in Houston. CP3 is now in Oklahoma City. I know there's been a lot of talk about CP3 this summer. There's been a lot of hatred around CP3's name. There's been a lot of slander regarding my man CP3's name this summer. And I'm not here for it. I'll tell you that right now. I know there's a lot of clowns out here trying to say CP3 is washed up. He had a down year last year. Okay, I get it. Averaged 15 and 8. He had a down year. But let's be clear. 15 points per game was obviously a career low for him. Very low usage, much lower compared to the year prior. When you're playing with the most ball dominant guard in the game, when you're playing with the most high usage guard in the entire league, it's a little bit difficult. And when your main priority, when your main role, when your claim to fame is being an orchestrator, a game manager, a playbook monitor, it's a little bit difficult when you don't always have the ball in your hands. So it definitely was a transition for CP3. And then also, of course, him getting hurt as well. Missing over 20 games is never good. You can never miss that many games and expect to be a supreme focal point and be in your particular quote-unquote great rhythm, Hall of Fame rhythm throughout the year. But that's no excuse. He still should have got it done. It was a terrible year for him. We're not sugarcoating anything like that. But even in a down year, 15 points per game, as I said before, 8 assists, as I said before, still third in the league, mind you, third in the league in assists in still a down year, also average over 2 steals a game, also third in the league, top 3 in the league as well. So, I mean, washed? I wouldn't say.
So disrespectful.
Don't get disrespectful when we're talking about wash. And also, if I'm sure you guys out there seen the numbers on Twitter with Harden off the floor. He averaged 22 points and 12 assists and 2 steals with James Harden off the floor. Those were his numbers per 36 minutes. So that's no slouch. Washed? Nah. Not the Chris Paul of 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Of course. It's understandable. He's 34 years old. Is LeBron James the same as LeBron was in Miami Heat LeBron? No, he's not. But it is what it is. Now, I think transitioning over in how I feel about, first of all, seeing him media day, OKC, I didn't like it. I mean, he looked like he wasn't upset, but he was trying his hardest not to show. And I get it. I understand. This is a transitional year. Hopefully he definitely better get traded before the trading deadline. Hopefully it's before the season or maybe in the early tweener parts of the season. But I think ultimately, if he does stay in OKC for the time being or however many games he's playing there, I actually think it will be nice for his overall game. When I say that, now he's going to be detached from Houston's isolation heavy approach. There's an opportunity for Chris to conduct an offense which makes better use of his vision, better use of his playmaking. He can be more of a mentor on his team as well. And listen, man, he's a pick and roll dominant point guard. That's his claim to fame. That's what he always wants to do. And you have a nice rolling big in Steven Adams. You have a nice stretch forward there in Gallinari. You have a defensive stalwart in Andre Roberson if he could get back to what he normally is. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a promising young pup. He played really well for the Clippers last year. I'm excited to see his growth. You got Schroeder coming off the bench. You got Ferguson. So there's a couple of young pieces there, a couple of solid pieces there, but of course, we know it's not a championship contender, but this is all a place to, I guess, showcase. I don't know why you have to showcase people in this stage of your career, but I guess it's still to show people, the Roy Jones Jr., y'all must have forgot that CP3 can still get it done. So, I mean, it's a pick-and-roll ball handler, so, I mean, OKC, I think there'll be a much improved team with Chris Paul. He'll improve the court vision, of course, pull-up shooting. He's a better decision maker on both ends of Russell Westbrook, so that they haven't had in a few years. But we'll see how long he's there, how much effort he puts into this. I still think he's going to give 100% effort. He just can't get hurt. he just can't get hurt in this frame of mind. He just got to hold out a little bit. I was excited. I thought the Miami trade was happening. It should have happened. There was a lot of rumblings. There was a lot of rumors about him going to Miami. I still think they're there, and I still think ultimately a deal will get done. We'll see how long that takes. But both of these franchises, they need to get a deal done. Oklahoma City, Miami, come on, Pat Riley, get it done. Those are two franchises right now that are swimming in mediocrity, if we're being honest. If we're keeping it a buck, as I always do. Both of these franchises are swimming in mediocrity. I know a lot of people are worried about the fit between Chris Paul, CP3, and Jimmy Butler. I don't think there's anything to be worried about. Both of those two are two bulldogs, two great locker room guys. They're both volatile players, but they both volatile because they want to win. And that's the most important aspect. And as long as the two guys are lock and step on the same page in regards to winning, that's all that matters. There's nothing else to it. That's all that matters. So they'll make it work. So free CP3. Free me, I should say.
Come on,
free
man.
me right now. Free me, free CP3. Get my boy out of OKC. Hit me on the line. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Y'all know I get sensitive when it comes to CP3, man. My man Akeem has been over there from Rona. He's been hating on my man CP3. I'm not trying to hear that neither, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. But free CP3, man. But some more media day reactions. I gotta talk about those Brooklyn Nets. I gotta tell you right now, family, I'm very excited for this upcoming season. My hometown, my neck of the woods, BK all day, Brooklyn Nets. We on a renaissance, man. They had a nice, spectacular year last year. Finally made the playoffs, led by D'Angelo Russell. Everybody else stepped up. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, Rondae Hollis. Who else stepped up last year? There were a lot of... DeMarre Carroll played well last year. There were a lot of guys who stepped up. Spencer Dinwiddie, how could I forget him? There's a lot of guys who stepped up last year, and they turned the Brooklyn Nets into a viable free agent destination. So you got to give Sean Marks some credit. You got to give ownership some credit for sticking to their guns without any draft picks, making smart trades, taking some salary dumps, and making the right, smart, shrewd moves to actually make the Brooklyn Nets into a viable free agent contender. You got to give them some respect for that. You got to give them some love for that. And media day. So now it's a big time right now. Brooklyn is hot. Brooklyn is on fire. We got KD over here. We got Kyrie over here. We got DeAndre Jordan over here. We got a couple of pieces, all to mix in with a lot of young talent that we already had. And I think it's a nice, solid, very good mix between veterans, some young pups, hungry guys to prove themselves. People still looking to be leaders. You got a nice coach in Kenny Atkinson who players like to play for, who they fight hard for. You gotta love Kenny Atkinson. So I'm really excited about the upcoming season for the Brooklyn Nets. And media day, it was real interesting. So their media day was on Friday, so I most definitely was tuned in for the entire thing. Yeah, first of all, Kyrie. Very interesting what I'm seeing from Kyrie right now. Very, very interesting. I'm seeing Kyrie the quote unquote the leader, Kyrie the bodyguard, and Kyrie the orchestrator. Now let me tell you all three. Kyrie the leader. I saw a lot of interesting quotes from him throughout this media day. He took a very big leadership role. It looked like he was really trying to stamp himself on the media from day one and let them know that, listen, I'm here to answer all the questions. I know you guys weren't calling me the greatest leader in the past, and was rightfully so, because he was not a great leader over there in Boston. But to me, it looks, he talked about his grandfather, how he was going through a lot of things last year, so he wasn't in the right mental frame of mind. And that this year he's nice and refreshed. I mean, I know it's a honeymoon period, so everyone says all the right things. So everyone says the good things here on media day, but he said a lot of leadership type of quotes, and I was feeling them. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, especially in the beginning of the year. So he said a lot of things about how he's gonna lead this team, how we all came together, how it was all a brotherhood, a fellowship, and he's gonna acquiesce to the lead of Coach Kenny Atkinson. He talked about how he brought Kevin Durant here. He talked about how he brought DeAndre Jordan here and how they all wanted to play together. This was really a collaborative effort on everyone's part in order to play together. And I actually like that. I saw a different Kyrie. I know a lot of people are saying that he said the same things last year in Boston, but it was a little bit different because he was traded there. This one here, coming to Brooklyn, he really wanted to come here. And you can tell. Sometimes, you can always tell when a brother really wants to play where you want to play. So he was out there in the park over there, Brooklyn Bridge Park, playing with a couple of guys out there. So I like to see that. It's gonna be big time for Kyrie, man. And I definitely am excited to see the growth and the maturation of Kyrie and his leadership qualities, because he's going to have to become a leader this year, especially with KD out for the majority of the first year. He's probably going to be out the entire first year. So, Kyrie, gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta show me something. And it starts on day one, and I started to see a lot of that also as well. And when I talk about him being a bodyguard, he most definitely is KD's bodyguard right now. I tell you that right now. I don't know. I know Kyrie. I mean, KD is older than him. He most definitely is. But it looks like Kyrie is kind of the little big brother in that relationship, in that dynamic. It definitely looks like he was the orchestrator of putting everything together. He was the one that persuaded KD to come here. He was the one that persuaded DeAndre Jordan to come here, Garrett Temple to come here, Taurean Prince to come here. Who else? He already had a relationship with Karis LeVert. He already had a relationship with Joe Harris in his Cleveland days. So I really got from Media Day, my takeaways is that he really was the orchestrator in all of this. And the bodyguard as well. So let me play you a clip that I heard from Kyrie in his Media Day in regard to Kevin Durant and how he basically went out last year in the NBA Finals when he tore his Achilles.
Naturally, I think you have to go inside the mind of a competitor and realize that a lot of people have responsibilities for why that ended up happening the way it happened on a national scale. We all know K was not ready to play in that environment. We all know that, whether people want to admit it or not. He was out 31 days, and we put him on a national stage on the finals to end up selling a product that came before the person Kevin. And now I'm here to protect that. I'm going to be a protector of that all throughout the year and not allowing anyone to infiltrate that circle of, hey, K, do you, get right, we'll be fine. We have expectations for our team. We obviously know he's an integral part, but we'll wait for that. I'm very patient. I'll be over patient with Kevin because I don't want anything like that to happen to anyone again, especially on that type of stage where it happened and him having to answer questions about whether or not he's coming back or not. So I'm here to dispel it that you'll never hear me say he's coming back here or I think he's coming. I want him to be 101% healthy.
So those are comments there from Kyrie on the KD situation and how that all went down with his injury last year. And there was a lot of reaction to that. I mean, I agree with him. Like, I feel him. I get what he's trying to say. He's basically trying to say that he doesn't want anything like that to happen again in regards to rushing him back before he felt like he was okay. Now, that's a double-edged sword also there as well, because we all know that Kevin Durant did ultimately make his own decision in regards to coming on the floor that night. He felt like he was good to go. He was dancing around before the game. He was getting a lot of shots up. He felt pretty good. He went through his little workouts and he said, I'm good to go. But the problem that happened was that he didn't really consider the adrenaline factor and the moment factor. And that's what I feel like ultimately was his downfall and was a detriment to him, because I feel like KD, he didn't really take into account the magnitude of the situation coming back in. I believe was that game 3 or game 4 he came back. But he came back in too much of a high pressure situation, which forced him to put a little bit more pressure on himself to do good, to do better, not necessarily to just ease in. And there was a lot of pressure from the outside. There was a lot of pressure from fans. There was a lot of pressure probably from his teammates as well. I don't think too much pressure from his teammates, but it was more so outside noise on KD and saying, listen, man, they need you. Get it together. They need you. You got to get out there. They're going to lose this finals without you. And then he started to believe that, of course, and then maybe he felt mentally that he felt good enough to go. So you can't fault the man for actually making the decision that he really thought he was good to go. You can maybe fault the doctors, I guess. Even though they medically cleared him to go and it's really out of their hands, they should have strongly medically advised him to say, listen, K, don't do it. Just don't do it. There's a high risk of you tearing an Achilles, twisting an ankle a little bit more. You're just not ready to go, because we know that they was trying to say it was a calf injury, but we know more so that it was more so towards the lower extremities of his leg, which is more so into an Achilles injury, and boom, there it is. So what happened? So I feel Kyrie on that point with saying that he's being more cautious. I guess he feels like they did that to his brother, I guess hanging him out to dry. And I guess he probably had a lot of influence on Kevin Durant actually ultimately leaving Golden State Warriors to go to the Brooklyn Nets. So I feel like he feels a sense of, not necessarily ownership, but a sense of, protection. Like he's a protector over KD right now, like in a little big brother role. So I can't fault him for that, but I do see that he's definitely taken upon the leadership role in this dynamic of those two. And we're going to see. I mean, KD, he got up to the stage. He was a little bit defensive at first with his media day comments. But I think he eased into the situation. And listen, man, Brooklyn's going to embrace him. Brooklyn love KD, love Kyrie. We're going to embrace both of those dudes, man. I can't even front. We're excited to see both of those dudes get back on the court. I still think the Brooklyn Nets are going to have a great year this upcoming year. It's definitely possible for them to get a top 4 seed. They're most definitely making the playoffs. We know that already. At least a top 6 seed. So it's going to be interesting, man. And what I think KD, he definitely needs to take this entire year off to be completely healed, to be completely stress-free, worry-free, so he doesn't have to worry about making those extra plans, making those extra steps, which will hinder him in any way mentally as well. So he needs to just be around the team this year, be around the stadium, get around the culture, feed into the Brooklyn air, head to a Brooklyn barbershop, get that boy right. But yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting season here for the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm excited to see their growth. I still think they should sign my man Melo. I mean, just in the interim, to help them out a little bit until KD comes back. But we'll see how that goes, man. Unless Melo is heading to the Heat with free CP3, we'll see how that goes. Also, I've been seeing a lot of Russ and Harden comments out there. A lot of people saying it would work. A lot of people saying that it won't work. There's a big love affair going on between James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Very connected to the situation, as you guys all know. And contrary to popular belief, I actually think this will work. Not gonna lie. I think the pairing with those two actually will work. I think they're gonna win definitely over 50 games. I think they'll win probably about between 50 and 55 games. The squad is essentially the same. Still PJ Tucker, still Clint. Still the core is there. Eric Gordon, Austin Rivers is back. Gerald Green is back. Daniel House a year later is a lot better. Tyson Chandler's a pickup there as well. Listen, man, I liked it before. I liked the team last year. I liked the team the year before, so I'm not going to switch now. They're still a great team no matter what. They're still a top 4 seed in the West no matter what. But I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's most definitely going to work in the regular season. They're going to have some growing pains. Of course, the fit is not ideal. I'm also like a Chris Paul fit in that offense because he brings a different dynamic than James Harden will bring to the table, a more cerebral approach. So my difference with Russell Westbrook, even though I think it will work, I think it will work until the going gets tough. And I think until the going will get tough when one of those two boys has to make a critical decision at the end of the game. And we know when it gets down to the playoffs, every possession matters. It's heightened. There's a lot of emotions that get involved, especially when you're playing in a critical game, if you're facing elimination or anything like that, whatever the circumstances call for. And I think it's going to come down to, when I say multiple times where both of those dudes have to make a decision, a critical decision. And I'm not the biggest fan of Russ's IQ, not the biggest fan of James Harden's situational IQ for both of those two as well. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic between those two. I'm definitely going to get more in depth of how I feel the pairing would work between those two when I get into an actual Houston Rockets episode. But I actually think the pairing will work. They got a nice roster. I think Russell Westbrook brings another dynamic to the Houston Rockets that CP3 actually didn't bring, which is more athleticism. He can push the pace a lot more. He can attack the rim a lot better. So I think those bode well for the Houston Rockets and what they need to do and what they should be doing. But they also, in terms of what they gain in athleticism and speed and things of that nature, they also lose IQ, play calling, because we know D'Antoni is not the most cerebral coach out there. So he struggles with play calling. He struggles with situational things to do. And James Harden is not the most cerebral player as well. They're not great game managers. They're great offensive players. Don't get me wrong. Of course, one of the best offensive players ever. But they're not cerebral players and know how to manage a game from start to finish. So we'll see how that dynamic works out. It's going to be interesting. And they both have to sacrifice a little bit in order for this to work. So we'll see how that goes. The Clippers, I also wanted to talk about a little bit before we get on out of here. They actually had a solid media day as well. Pretty low key. They did theirs, I believe, on Sunday. Their media day was, and we finally saw the team together. We finally saw Kawhi there. We finally saw PG, Lou Willville, Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, aka Black Beast, Shamet, Harkless, Patrick Patterson over there now. Zubac was over there now. So it's going to be interesting with the Doc Rivers, Steve Ballmer. It's going to be really interesting with the to see how the Clippers do this year. So a lot of the media heads, talking heads are anointing the LA Clippers as the favorites in this upcoming season. A lot of them have the Clippers. A lot of them have the Lakers. A lot of them have the 76ers as well. It's pretty much the three favorites, I should say, in these upcoming season, and rightfully so. Those are teams with the most talent, I would say, or they have the most dynamic duels, I should say. And that's don't get me wrong, that's it. But we still got to get on the court. So one thing I learned, a couple of takeaways that I had from the LA Clippers media day. Paul George. Everyone knows I'm a big Paul George fan. I hate his attitude, but I love his game. He won't be back to start the season. He's going to miss all of training camp. He's going to miss all of preseason. They said he might not be back until November, I believe, because he had 2 shoulder surgeries in the offseason. So he's not 100%. He said he's about 75% right now. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see if his shoulders can actually hold up throughout the season, since he's still going to have to be acclimated once he finally gets back into the lineup. So that's going to be a very interesting tidbit to watch also, because the team, they might also get chemistry before PG. So it might be a little bit different when you have another ball dominant guy there as well, somebody else who wants his touches, even though PG is a relatively unselfish player, but he still wants his touches at the end of the day. He was a top 3 MVP candidate last year. So don't get it twisted. PG wants his touches. And he also had a lot of interesting comments during media day. He said also as well that he feels like him and Kawhi is the best duo in the league. And I had to think about it. So let's hear PG when he said that.
Because you and Kawhi are elite at both ends of the floor, does that make you the best duo in the NBA?
I think so. When you look at 2 guys that play both ends, 2 guys that can go and get a basket, 2 guys that can stop you from getting a basket, elite on both ends, I don't see how you can beat that.
Are you two going to fight over who guards the best player on the other team?
We might. We might. But again, there's a level of respect of whoever's going to get the job done handles that mission.
So that's PG talking about him and Kawhi. He thinks that they are the best duo in the league. And I can't hate on him. He got a solid point. It's definitely the best two-way duo in the league. I say that for sure. We've never seen 2 stout perimeter defenders, 2 stout perimeter two-way players in the primes of their career, both together. Last time you see that, it would have to be MJ and Pippen, MJ and Scottie. I mean, I don't see another duo, a perimeter duo. You can say LeBron and Wade, but year one Wade was good, and then he started to tailor off a little bit, and LeBron was supremely more impactful and the better player over D Wade. So I would say even these two might be a better duo on paper right now than those two. Both 6'7", 6'8", big bodies, can both shoot, can both handle the rock, can both score on anybody, can both defend anybody. Both two top 5 perimeter defenders in the league. So I can see where he's coming from, but I don't know if I'm going to go best duo in the league yet, because that's hard to quantify, because it is a team sport, basketball. So it's not more so about just those two individuals. It's about how those two individuals mesh within a team system. Can those two elevate everyone else around you? Can they elevate Patrick Beverley? Can they elevate Black Beast? Can they elevate Zubac? Can they elevate Mo Harkless? It remains to be seen. I mean, I really like the Clipper squad. I can't front. I love the Clipper squad right now, but maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit on crowning anyone before the season, because a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the season. A whole lot of things. I always say the healthiest team always wins a title. It's always the healthiest team that wins a title every single year. We see it countless times over and over again. There are durability issues with Paul George. There are durability issues with Kawhi Leonard as well. So we're gonna see how that works out. But I do feel like they have a couple of issues. Not much, I would say, because they're pretty stacked roster. I'm not gonna lie. I really like their fit together. But I would say two minor issues, I would say, is height, interior defense, and shot creation and playmaking. So when I say height and interior defense, you got Black Beast, Montrezl Harrell out there. He's a 6'7", at the 5, a little bit small. When you get around some of those big centers, it's tough. It's tough for him. When you're vertically challenged at the 5, it's tough. I mean, he has heart, he got muscle, he has hops, but sometimes you can't teach height. You got Zubac over there, but he's not going to be playing in critical moments of the game. He's probably going to start the game, but he won't be there in critical moments. The 4, I think, is a question mark, power forward position. They got J. Michael Green, they got Patrick Patterson, but who are they starting is the issue. You could start J. Michael Green at the 4, which I think would be ideal. Then you got Kawhi at the 3, Paul George at the 2, Patrick Beverley at the 1. But then you can also go another way and go Patrick Beverley at the 1, Landry Shamet at the 2, Paul George at the 3, which is his natural position. But then you'll have to slide Kawhi over there to the 4, which isn't his natural position, but then you'll become a little bit more versatile. And then you'll have Zubac starting at the 5, have J. Michael Green coming off the bench. So they have a lot of questions when it comes to which lineup will be the most effective. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. But I think the most important issue, more so than height, because I don't really think that's a huge issue because they are all long and lanky perimeter defenders, is a playmaking. I think that's going to be not really an issue, but I think they can improve on that area. Creating easy shots for others might be an issue for that team. I mean, to me, when I look at this roster, there's no true facilitator on this team. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some Pat Beverley. He might be a little overrated right now because we loving the energy that comes out of Pat Beverley. But let's keep it a buck right now. If you think he can run an elite offense effectively, you're lying to yourself. You're lying. Don't get me wrong. He's a bulldog, defensive stalwart, all of that good stuff. He can hit it. Open threes when necessary. He's a threat on the perimeter, but he's not a shot creator. He's not a penetrator. He's not a finisher. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on their guard play. Okay, on the defensive end, no questions at all. But on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of guys might be sagging off of Pat Beverley. They might be. Kawhi Leonard, sometimes he struggles creating his own shot at times, and he's definitely not the greatest playmaker in the world. Paul George, he's a solid playmaker, but he's not really a facilitator. He can create his own shot, but can he create shot for others? Think about it. Patrick Beverley has to be set up. Now let's go down the list. Louisville, phenomenal playmaker, phenomenal shot creator, but does he create shots effectively enough for others as well? I think he might be their best playmaker on the team. I don't have any beef with Louisville, but we know he's coming off the bench, so he's not going to be with that starting unit. Landry Shamet, not a facilitator. And that's pretty much it for their guards. So that to me is, I think, something they not necessarily have to clear up, but they might have to look into that. And that could be the detriment when it comes to the LA Clippers down there in playoff time. But I got faith in Doc. Doc is my guy, so I bang with the Clippers. Last but not least, really quick, this is for my man Akeem, Rolling Uncut, man. Your boy, Joel Embiid. This Philadelphia 76ers was way too damn hype this media day. Joel Embiid, I mean, I love the confidence. I love what he's saying. I can't lie. So he had a couple of goals for himself this season. He said his goals for this year is #1 seed, 60+ wins, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and a championship all in the same year. Now listen.
Boy, if you don't get...
I love the confidence. I love the heart. I love the hustle. Not one time in one of those goals this season did he even say, my goal is to play 82 games in a season. Because that's the issue with Joel Embiid. It's never been about his talent. It's never been what he can do on the floor. It's always about his durability and his willingness to get in shape and stay in shape. They said he lost a few pounds this summer. That's great to see. We're going to see that. Because the East, we're going to see how it is, man. He needs to dominate the East. Because right now, this is the first time the Philadelphia 76ers have been in a position of being the favorites. They usually, a lot of times for the past couple of years, of the process every year. They're not ready. No one wants to hear that this year. It's put up a shut-up time for the entire Philadelphia 76ers squad, along with Brett Brown. It's put up a shut-up time for his coaching as well. So I know the 76ers is the hot team right now, sexy team right now, the pick in the East. I think they're getting a little bit too much love, but we'll see. I like the roster. I like it. I don't love it. I like it, but I don't love it. It's okay. It's solid. It's good for the East. I mean, it's only because the East is so spread out this year. There's no top tier team that can really challenge them. But I have a lot of questions with that 76ers roster. I'm telling you right now, the starting five, very good. Defensive, hungry, tall, lean, athletic, smart. We'll see. The bench is sus. You got my man Trey Burke over there. I like that, but he's not going to carry a bench. You got Mike Scott over there. I mean, he shouldn't be. He should be the 9th man off of the bench, Mike Scott. Other than that, who else? Who else is there? James Ennis. Stop it. There's no one else in that roster, but we'll see. Kyle O'Quinn, I think, is there as well, but he doesn't move the needle. But we'll see. If Joel Embiid can play 70 to 82 games, they should get that #1 seed. They have the most talented roster in the East, but we'll see how that goes. And I still don't see. What I need to see from the 76ers right now is a leader and a closer. And we'll see if they can do that. I need to see a leader, and I need to see the closer at the end of those games. We're going to see if Ben Simmons can really step up to the plate this year, because we know the streets is watching. Clock is ticking. Ben Simmons said he's been working on his game. He fell in love with the game this year. I like to see that. I'm loving to see Big Ben in the gym. Love to see that, hitting those jump shots, hitting those fadeaways. I'm not mad at that, but we'll see if it actually works. We'll see if the work that he put in this summer actually pays off. We'll see if him falling in love with the game is really something. I'm excited to see the growth of Ben Simmons. I think this is a turning point in Ben Simmons' career. This season right here. It's really a put up or shut up for Ben Simmons. And I got him for my pressure cooker. It's real high for Ben Simmons because I'm excited to see his growth. I mean, he's got the tools, man. Should have been working with Magic. I heard he was talking with Magic a little bit. I think he got in the gym once or twice or something like that. And we'll see. Ben Simmons, can he become a leader? I don't know. Joel Embiid, can he become a leader? I don't know. Al Horford is a veteran presence. We know that. He's a veteran presence in the locker room. He's a leader. He being slightly in the locker room. On the floor, he's a very smart, cerebral player. But, I mean, if Al Horford was such a great leader, What happened to him in Boston last year with all their turmoil that happened? He was an elder statesman on that team. It didn't work out. So how much of a great leader is Al Horford? So I'm not putting my stock on him being the leader of this team. It has to come from one of the best players on the team. So I need to see Joel. I need to see Big Ben. One of those boys step up. Tobias Harris, love his game. We're going to see him turn into a nice young piece. He is a nice young piece, I have to say. We'll see him take a step up. And we'll see how this goes for the Philadelphia 76ers. So I know my man Ak, I know you're hyper right now. Pump your damn brakes on those Philadelphia 76ers, all right? The Bucks are there. Don't sleep on the Heat, too. If they make a trade for my boy CP, coming after you. Who else? The Brooklyn Nets. They got some solid. I could see Philadelphia bottoming out, or I can see them really taking it to the promised man. So we'll see, because the ceiling is the sky's the limit, definitely, for the Philadelphia 76ers. And we need to see Joel Embiid dominate. So we'll see how that is, man. So yeah, family, that's a lot of my media day interactions, a lot of my media day thoughts. Definitely got a couple of new episodes coming out on the way. Definitely some real heat coming out for y'all, especially with the upcoming season coming up. Y'all already know you got to keep it locked each and every week, each and every Wednesday on Above the Rim. Best NBA pod in the game. Number one source for that NBA heat. Also, don't forget also to hit me up as well about that fantasy league. Let me know if you want to get down with that as well. Hit me a text, shoot me a DM, whatever the case may be. I'm going to probably be setting that up this week, so let me know. Get a couple of the good brothers there together. Remember, excessive shit talking, so bring the A game when it comes to that, because you know I'm going to be talking that. You know I'm going to be talking that mess. So yeah, so family, man, I appreciate y'all. As always, much love to everybody. Much success to everybody who tunes in, who's been rocking with me for a while now. Over 100 episodes deep. We in for a new season. If you want to be a guest, also let me know as well. I'm always here for new people. So yeah, family. Little snippet, little nugget. Episode 106. Free me. Free CP3. My boy needs to get traded. Family, man. So hit me up, man. Appreciate y'all listening as always, man. So that's episode 106. And we out.